Hi and welcome to this short practice focused on the heart chakra. All you will need is your mat, and blocks are optional. We will actually be on our feet the entire time for this short practice, so we'll begin by standing. Bring the feet to a comfortable distance apart, and I invite you to bring the hands to heart to connect with your heart space. Allow the gaze to point downward and remain fixed. Start to focus on your breathing, going at your own pace, and really tuning into what your breath might be telling you in this moment. Whatever it is, trust it and follow that guidance. As we focus on our heart space, I invite you to remain open in your heart, but also to remain open to what is. It takes so much courage to do this, so I ask you to consider what that means for you, not only in this moment on the mat, but in other aspects of your life. And then consider, how is it that you will show up with courage for the things that you are facing off of the mat? Take one more breath here. And start to bring an awareness back to your gaze, and we'll begin our movement. On the next inhale, start to cactus the arms almost like you are forming a W shape with your arms. Shoulder blades squeeze together, and feel a stretch through your chest. Gaze points slightly upward. On the exhale, gently bend the knees, round the spine, bring the gaze in towards the navel as you hug the arms forward like you're hugging a beach ball almost. You're making an O shape now with your arms. Now continue with this movement at your own pace with a few more cycles of breath. As we make this alternating W-O-W shape with our arms and spell out the word wow, consider how you have wowed yourself recently. Maybe you've showed up for something in your life that required so much courage that you can look back on it and simply think, wow, I did that. On your next breath, slowly lower the arms down to the side. Let's step the feet apart now, slightly wider than shoulder distance. Toes are turned out on the diagonal to externally rotate the hips. Inhale the arms overhead, and then on your exhale, bend the knees, draw the arms down to a prayer position as you come into a goddess pose. Do this a few more times, following the pace of your breath, ensuring that your knees are tracking over your toes. Each time you come into your goddess pose, tap into the strength and courage of your own inner god or goddess. On your next breath, slowly come to standing and lower the arms to the sides. Bring your feet to parallel now and start to bend the knees as you walk the arms down to find the mat and come into a wide-legged forward fold. You might feel free to walk your feet out a little bit more or slightly bend the knees even if needed. And here's where you can use a block to bring the ground closer to you. You'll place your right hand to the floor or block and directly beneath your face. Place your left hand on the left hip and slowly start to turn your torso and your gaze towards the left as you draw the left arm up towards the sky, palm facing outward. Exhale to bring that left hand back down to the floor next to your right hand, and take that same movement on the right this time. Gently twisting as you massage the organs of the torso. And continuing with this flow of movement at your own pace for a few more cycles of breath. And each time that you twist, I invite you to imagine that you could wring out any limiting beliefs that might be hindering your sense of courage, and just allow those thoughts or feelings to simply melt away. On your next exhale, bring the hand back down to the floor. Now walk both hands up the legs to standing, and then turn the left toes out while bringing the right toes in. Fan the arms out to the sides, bend the left knee to come into warrior two. Gaze over your left hand. Feel free to adjust your stance here as needed. Start to flip the left palm up, and then inhale the arm up and overhead as you bend laterally toward the right into reverse warrior. Exhale to come back through warrior 2, and then hinge forward, placing the left elbow on the left thigh and sweep the right arm up to come into extended side angle. The inhale then brings you back to warrior 2, and just repeat that a couple more times at a pace that's comfortable for you. If you ever get lost in your movements, just simply come back to the breath. No matter what happens on the mat or in life, just remember that the breath is always constant, so allow that to be your guide. Complete this last cycle of dancing warrior, and we'll meet in warrior 2. Let's switch sides now by straightening both legs and then pointing the left foot in, right foot out, bending in your right knee to come into warrior 2 on the other side. Let's take that same dancing warrior flow on this side now, inhaling into our reverse warrior, exhaling each time we return through center in warrior 2, and then inhaling through extended side angle. And just have fun with this. You know, as the saying goes, dance like no one is watching, right? Complete this last cycle of dancing warrior, and let's meet again in warrior 2. Now point both toes to parallel, bring the arms in, and walk the feet together to chair pose, hands at heart center. Let's set up now for our very last pose of our practice, Garudasana, or eagle pose. From chair pose, lift the right foot up off the ground and cross your right leg over your left so that your right foot is touching the ground on the outside of your left pinky toe. Now feel free to stay here, or if you'd like to take it a step further, start to sink lower in the hips until you're able to bind that right foot behind the left calf. Bring the arms into the pose now by crossing the arms left over right, and either at the wrists, the elbows, or full expression by keeping the cross at the elbow joints and then lifting your forearms in front of your face and grasping the palms or fingers wherever it is that you're able. Work towards keeping those forearms parallel with your face and keep your gaze fixed to assist with your balance. Take a couple breaths here as you tap into your courage to soar in eagle. Once you're ready to release, exhale to gently unhook and then step the right foot out as you allow your arms to open nice and wide, chest opens up to counter stretch. Let's go ahead and take that onto the other side, coming into chair pose to set up. Inhale to lift the left foot and cross the left leg over the right this time. And again, you can stay here or start to sink deeper into your hips, and maybe your left foot starts to find a bind behind the right calf. Bring the arms to cross right over left this time. Same options, cross at the wrists, the elbows, or find full expression by folding the forearms up at the elbow joints and grasping the palms or the fingers as you're able. Keep the gaze fixed. Allow your breath to center you here, and realize that doing all of these things, the breathing, the focusing on the gaze, all of these things work together to keep you in balance. So, similarly, what can we learn from the practice on the mat that may help with finding balance off of the mat? And once you're ready, start to relax and unhook everything, stepping that left foot out and allowing your arms to fly outward, chest open, and just feel how good this feels to release. We'll go ahead and close our practice by bringing the hands back to the heart, finding a comfortable stance. And this brings us back home, right where we started at the top of our practice. Keep the gaze fixed gently downward. And just like we did to open our practice, let's go ahead and close by focusing on the breath. Only this time, I invite you to breathe without any sense of control over your breathing. Just allow it to be. As you take some breaths here, I invite you to consider how today's practice may have helped you to remain open in the heart, but also open to what is. There are so many things that are outside of our control, but really we can approach those things with an open mind and an open heart, and that really takes courage. So now, as you're leaving your mat today, I invite you to consider, how will you show up with courage off of your mat today? I hope that this practice resonated with you. Thank you so much for practicing with me in this quick flow. I hope to see you on the mat again soon. Namaste.